I felt angry because, like I said, you knew what you did, and for you to reach out, it's like, what are you trying to cover? You thought that you were going to get away with killing my sister?
Mariah Griffin
How does a
says her
man,
sister Remy
accused of his partner's murder, find the audacity to stand among mourners at her funeral, his face a mask of solemnity, as if sharing in their grief? What darkness lingers in the heart of someone who embraces the family of the woman he allegedly took from this world, offering condolences as if he were an innocent bystander? Today, we unravel the chilling enigma of Adelin Itongwa, a man whose presence at Ramiah Griffin's burial raises haunting questions and shatters the boundaries of human empathy. As we journey through this harrowing tale, we seek to comprehend the unsettling contradiction of a life partner turned suspect, a man once embraced as family who is now at the center of a shocking investigation. Remy Griffin, a young mother whose brilliance was dimmed far too soon, stands at the heart of this narrative, a beacon of joy and creativity, whose life was tragically cut short. Remy was more than a name, she was a force of nature, a loving mother, a dedicated friend, and a talented creator whose passion for life was evident in every smile. Her story, however, takes a dark turn, one that leaves us grappling with the complex layers of love, betrayal, and loss. In this video, we will explore the events leading up to that fateful day, the unraveling of a relationship once filled with promise, and the chilling moments that followed her untimely death. Through interviews, evidence, and personal accounts, we aim to piece together the puzzle of Remy's final days. Before we delve deeper into Remy's story, please take a moment to hit that like button. Your support helps to spread her story to others who may need to hear it. If you're new here, consider subscribing to this community, where we highlight cases deserving of attention. I invite you to share your thoughts on this case. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed to grieve publicly while concealing a dark secret? Your experiences shared in the comments below could help others recognize similar patterns in their lives. Don't forget to enable notifications by clicking the bell icon. Remy Griffin possessed an extraordinary ability to illuminate every space she entered, effortlessly drawing others into her radiant orbit. Her vibrant personality was vividly reflected in her social media presence, where she showcased a young woman overflowing with joy and enthusiasm for life. Whether she was captured dancing exuberantly with friends, sharing infectious laughter, or providing glimpses into her daily routine, Remy exuded an energy that was both uplifting and inviting. Her followers deeply valued her authenticity, as she courageously shared not only the high points of her life but also the challenges she faced along her journey. Those close to Remy described her as a person who was unafraid to express her thoughts and opinions, yet she always approached discussions with an underlying warmth and kindness that endeared her to many. Her Instagram stories were a delightful mix of motivational quotes and empowering messages, encouraging her audience to chase their dreams and aspirations, no matter the obstacles. In addition to her inspirational content, Remy often posted playful videos of herself experimenting with the latest makeup trends or sharing her insights on fashion, displaying her keen sense of style and creativity. What truly set Remy apart was her remarkable ability to forge genuine connections with her audience. She engaged in candid conversations about the complexities and nuances of young adulthood, addressing both the exhilarating highs and the daunting lows. This openness not only fostered a sense of community among her followers but also encouraged others to share their own experiences, creating a supportive environment where vulnerability was embraced. Remy's relatable nature and heartfelt communication resonated deeply with those who followed her, making her a beloved figure within her online community. Through her vibrant spirit and authentic storytelling, Remy became a source of inspiration and hope for many, leaving a lasting impact on the lives she touched. At just 20, Remy embraced motherhood with remarkable commitment. Her 1-year-old daughter became her world, and her social media captured precious moments they shared, from matching outfits to bedtime stories, revealing a mother's profound love for her child. Despite her young age, Remy approached parenthood with a maturity that surpassed her years. She adeptly balanced work and childcare, often sharing candid discussions about the trials of being a young mother. The milestones of her daughter's life, first steps, first words, and her first birthday, were celebrated with the exuberance that only a devoted parent could convey. Friends observed how motherhood shifted Remy's priorities. She worked tirelessly to provide a stable home in her Baldwin Borough apartment, decorating her daughter's room and establishing routines aimed at giving her child the best start possible. Remy was known for her generous spirit, with former classmates from Stowe Roos High School remembering her as someone who went above and beyond to help others. She maintained these connections well beyond graduation, organizing casual get-togethers and celebrating her friends' accomplishments. Her impact on the community was evident in small yet significant ways, from organizing local baby clothing swaps for young mothers to actively participating in neighborhood events. Remy and Adeline Iona's relationship blossomed when they were both still in their teens. At just 18 years old, Remy met the then 20-year-old Adeline through a circle of mutual friends in the vibrant city of Pittsburgh. Their early days together were filled with promise and shared interests, as they bonded over their love for music, outdoor adventures, and aspirations for the future. This budding romance appeared to be a joyful union, with both individuals captivated by each other's charisma and enthusiasm for life. However, their lives took a significant turn when Remy discovered she was pregnant at the age of 19. This pivotal moment transformed their relationship and led Remy to openly share her journey into motherhood on her social media platforms, a process she documented with palpable excitement and joy. Friends and followers watched as she navigated the challenges and triumphs of pregnancy, celebrating milestones like gender reveal parties and nursery preparations through heartfelt posts and updates. Despite their youth and the pressures that came with impending parenthood, both Remy and Adeline made a conscious commitment to co-parenting their child. They aimed to create a nurturing environment for their daughter, demonstrating a shared dedication to raising her with love and support. This initial commitment to collaboration and partnership in parenting showcased their willingness to adapt to the new responsibilities that lay ahead, highlighting the hope and determination they had for their family's future. As their daughter continued to grow and develop, the dynamics between Remy and Adeline began to evolve in noticeable ways. The initial bond that had brought them together started to show signs of strain, revealing the complexities of their relationship under the pressures of parenthood. Although they initially maintained a co-parenting arrangement marked by cooperation, it became increasingly evident that their personal connection was weakening. Remy's social media presence began to reflect this shift, her posts increasingly centered around her daughter and her journey of personal growth. The joyful moments they once shared as a couple gradually faded from view, with Adeline appearing less frequently in her content. This change underscored a growing focus on her role as a mother and her commitment to fostering a positive and stable environment for her child. By late 2023, communication between Remy and Adeline had transitioned into a more functional dynamic, revolving primarily around practical matters such as childcare arrangements, visitation schedules, and their daughter's evolving needs. While they still aimed to collaborate on parenting decisions, the warmth and intimacy that characterized their early relationship had diminished, leaving behind a partnership that was more about logistics than emotional connection. This shift illustrated how the challenges of co-parenting could alter relationships, often leading to a redefined understanding of partnership amidst the responsibilities of raising a child. Reflecting on the weeks leading up to her death, friends observed subtle changes in Remy's behavior. Her typically regular social media posts became less frequent, and when she did share content, it was solely about her daughter or her work. Close friends noted she began spending more time at home, curtailing her usual social activities. Text messages revealed that Adeline's communication regarding visitation schedules grew increasingly demanding. Although Remy kept these tensions to herself, her mother later disclosed that Remy had voiced concerns about Adeline's behavior during custody exchanges. She opted not to file any formal complaints, choosing instead to manage the situation discreetly for the sake of their daughter. In her final TikTok post, Remy conveyed cryptic messages about resilience and prioritizing the well-being of her child. Friends who encountered her in early February 2024 observed that she seemed distracted, frequently checking her phone. February 9, 2024, unfolded as a typical day for Remy. Her last social media activity featured her sharing morning moments with her daughter, breakfast videos, and preparing for the day. Security cameras from her apartment complex captured her returning home from errands around 2 p.m., carrying shopping bags and her daughter in her arms. Between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., Remy exchanged several text messages with family members about weekend plans. Her mother later revealed their last conversation included Remy mentioning an anticipated visit to discuss custody arrangements. Around 4:30 p.m., neighbors reported seeing a recognizable car parked in the complex's lot, one that both Remy and Adeline had access to. The last confirmed communication from Remy was a text message sent at 5:12 p.m. to a friend, stating she would call later that evening, a call that never materialized. Security footage showed Adeline's car departing the complex shortly before 6 p.m., but due to camera angles, only the vehicle was visible. At this juncture in Remy's story, I urge you to pause with me for a moment. What you are about to learn next illustrates how swiftly life can alter. If you possess any information about similar circumstances or have observed concerning behavior in relationships you are familiar with, now is the time to speak out. Leave a comment below if you believe you would have recognized these warning signs. Your insights may assist someone else in identifying a perilous situation before it becomes too late. Remember to like this video to help raise awareness about these critical warning signs. For those closely following this case, ensure that you are subscribed and have notifications enabled. Our next video will explore another significant case sharing important similarities with Remy's story, and you will not want to miss it. At 7:43 p.m., a neighbor dialed 911 after hearing what they initially thought were firecrackers coming from Remy's apartment. When no one answered repeated knocks on her door, the police were dispatched to conduct a welfare check. Officers arrived at 8:02 p.m. to find Remy's apartment door unlocked, leading to a devastating discovery. Remy lay motionless in her living room, having suffered multiple gunshot wounds. The scene told a harrowing story of violence. 12 shots had been fired, indicating this was not a spur-of-the-moment act but rather a premeditated assault. Officers heard faint sounds coming from another room, where they found Remy's 1-year-old daughter unharmed in her crib. The baby was swiftly taken into protective custody and later placed with Remy's mother. The contrast was heart-wrenching. One room bore the weight of unimaginable tragedy, while another sheltered an innocent child destined to grow up without her mother. Crime scene investigators worked tirelessly through the night, documenting evidence and piecing together Remy's final moments. No signs of forced entry were found, suggesting Remy had opened her door to someone she recognized. Although her phone was missing from the scene, her purse and other valuables remained untouched, indicating this was not a robbery gone awry. The Baldwin Borough Police Department promptly launched a comprehensive investigation into Remy's death. Within hours of finding her body, detectives established a command center in the management office of the apartment complex, coordinating with multiple units to process the scene and canvass the neighborhood. Officers conducted door-to-door interviews throughout the complex, gathering statements from neighbors who might have witnessed or heard anything unusual. The department assigned their most seasoned homicide detectives to the case, recognizing the gravity of the crime and its effect on the community. The initial 48 hours saw heightened police activity in the area. Officers secured surveillance footage from nearby businesses and traffic cameras, while others traced Remy's last movements through her phone records and social media activity. The department also collaborated with Child Protective Services to ensure the safety and proper care of Remy's daughter, who was placed with her grandmother under police protection. A tip line was established specifically for the case, allowing community members to anonymously provide any information that might aid in solving the crime. The evidence collected from Remy's apartment revealed crucial details about her final moments. Investigators discovered multiple shell casings scattered across the living room floor, suggesting the shooter remained in place while firing. The location of each casing assisted detectives in reconstructing the sequence of events. Remy's apartment displayed no signs of struggle or forced entry. Her keys were found on the kitchen counter, and a half-empty coffee cup rested on the living room table, indicating she had been going about her routine. Her daughter's diaper bag was packed and ready by the door, suggesting she had been preparing for an outing or expecting someone to pick up the baby. The positioning of furniture and personal items provided further insight. Nothing appeared disturbed or ransacked. A bouquet of fresh flowers adorned the dining table, and family photographs lined the walls, undisturbed. The scene painted a picture not of senseless violence but of a targeted attack by someone familiar with both the space and its occupant. Residents of Baldwin Borough responded with an outpouring of support and grief. Within hours of the news breaking, neighbors created a memorial outside Remy's apartment building, leaving flowers, candles, and teddy bears. Local mothers who had connected with Remy through parenting groups organized a candlelight vigil, drawing hundreds of community members. Former classmates from Stowe Roos High School utilized social media to share memories and coordinate support efforts for her family. The school itself became a gathering place for young people processing the loss of their friend, with counselors available to assist students in coping with the tragedy. TikTok creators who had followed Remy began sharing tribute videos, raising awareness about her story and calling for justice. Her followers, many of whom had never met her face-to-face but felt a connection through her authentic portrayal of young motherhood, inundated her previous posts with messages of condolence and disbelief. Detectives quickly honed in on several key pieces of evidence. The shared car between Remy and Adeline became a focal point after residents reported seeing it in the complex's parking lot during critical hours. Phone records revealed a pattern of communication between Remy and a specific number in the hours leading up to her death. Security footage from local businesses provided investigators with a timeline of vehicles entering and exiting the area, capturing clear images of someone matching Adeline's description walking toward Remy's apartment complex shortly before the estimated time of her death. Interviews with family members unveiled recent discussions regarding custody arrangements and planned meetings. Several witnesses came forward with insights about interactions they had observed between Remy and Adeline in the days preceding the crime. Additionally, messages found on Remy's social media accounts hinted at escalating tensions over co-parenting responsibilities. In the days following Remy's death, Adeline Iona's behavior proved pivotal to the investigation. He continued his daily routine, posting on social media and engaging with friends as if nothing had occurred. He even shared a brief tribute to Remy, expressing shock at her death and urging anyone with information to come forward. He participated in group chats discussing the tragedy, displaying an unusual interest in details about the police investigation and frequently questioning what evidence had been uncovered. Adeline kept in touch with Remy's family, offering condolences and support. He visited Remy's mother, who was now caring for their daughter, making appearances that seemed designed to convey his concern for the child. He spoke with investigators voluntarily, providing what appeared to be a detailed account of his movements on the day of the murder and expressing sorrow over the loss of his child's mother. During Remy's funeral service on February 15, Adeline's presence created a disquieting atmosphere that would linger in the memories of those in attendance. He stood among the mourners dressed in black, carrying their daughter in his arms. He signed the guest book, embraced grieving family members, and even assisted in arranging flowers near her casket. Throughout the service, he maintained a solemn demeanor, wiping away tears as friends shared their memories of Remy. He actively participated in prayers and funeral rituals, standing close to Remy's immediate family. Several attendees later recounted how he comforted others who were crying, offering tissues and words of solace. What struck many was his composure during the eulogy when speakers called for justice for Remy. As they spoke about finding her killer, Adeline nodded in agreement. He even approached the microphone to share his own memories, speaking about Remy as a mother and expressing how much their daughter would miss her. Throughout this, he cradled their child, the same child who had been in the apartment when he allegedly took her mother's life. As Adeline played his part as the grieving co-parent, investigators meticulously built their case. Digital evidence began to paint a different picture than the one he presented. His phone location data placed him near Remy's apartment at critical times on February 9. The movements of the shared car, tracked through traffic cameras, matched witness accounts of its presence at the complex. On February 21, just 6 days after standing at Remy's funeral, police moved to arrest Adeline. They found him at his residence, preparing for what appeared to be an ordinary day. The same hands that had wiped away tears at the funeral were now placed in handcuffs. The arrest warrant detailed charges of criminal homicide and endangering the welfare of a child, the latter stemming from his decision to leave his own daughter in the apartment after allegedly shooting her mother. During the arrest, Adeline remained silent, declining to make any statements as officers read him his rights. His calm demeanor sharply contrasted with the emotional displays he had exhibited at Remy's funeral. The location of his arrest held particular significance, less than 3 miles from where Remy's memorial service had occurred just days prior. As officers led him away in handcuffs, neighbors gathered to watch, many recognizing him from news coverage of Remy's death. Among his belongings, police discovered the suit he had worn to the funeral, still hanging in his closet, a chilling reminder of his dual role in this tragedy. The Allegheny County District Attorney's Office filed multiple charges against Adelin Itongwa, with criminal homicide being the primary charge, reflecting the premeditated nature of Remy's death. Additionally, he faced charges of endangering the welfare of a child, acknowledging the risk posed to his daughter who had been present during the shooting. The criminal complaint detailed the evidence supporting each charge. The homicide charge was backed by forensic evidence, witness statements, and digital data placing him at the scene. The child endangerment charge stemmed from his choice to leave his 1-year-old daughter alone in the apartment after allegedly taking her mother's life. Prosecutors underscored the calculated nature of the crime, the timing of the visit, the number of shots fired, and his subsequent actions at the funeral all factored into their assessment. The charging documents noted his apparent attempts to fabricate an alibi and his ongoing contact with Remy's family after her death, describing these actions as efforts to deflect suspicion while retaining access to information about the investigation. News of Adeline's arrest sent shockwaves through Baldwin Borough. Those who had attended the funeral alongside him struggled to comprehend his betrayal. Social media erupted with posts from individuals who had witnessed his performance at the memorial service, now sharing their horror at having stood beside Remy's alleged killer. Local mothers' groups, where Remy had been active, organized support networks for her family. They initiated fundraisers to assist with legal expenses and to establish a trust fund for her daughter. The community's focus shifted from seeking justice to supporting the child who had lost both parents, one to death and the other to alleged murder. At Stowe Roos High School, where both Remy and Adeline had studied, students organized awareness campaigns addressing domestic violence. The school administration collaborated with local advocacy groups to create resources for students affected by the tragedy. Former classmates who had known both individuals shared their shock, posting old photos and memories of happier times, attempting to understand how events had spiraled so drastically. As of early 2024, Adelin Itongwa remains in custody at the Allegheny County Jail, held without bail due to the gravity of the charges. The district attorney's office continues to strengthen their case, working closely with investigators to solidify the evidence chain. They have expressed their intention to pursue the maximum penalties available under Pennsylvania law for both the homicide and child endangerment charges. Remy's daughter remains in the care of her maternal grandmother, who has filed for permanent custody. The family court has granted temporary orders prohibiting any contact between the child and Adeline while the criminal case advances. Support services are working closely with the family to ensure the child receives appropriate care and counseling. The case has highlighted gaps in domestic violence prevention programs, sparking discussions about enhancing support systems for young parents in conflict. Local advocacy groups are utilizing Remy's story to advocate for stronger protective measures in custody disputes. Remy Griffin's narrative transcends the tragic circumstances of her death. Her impact continues through the thousands of followers who share her content, using her story as a platform to raise awareness about domestic violence. Her TikTok videos, once a glimpse into her life as a young mother, now serve as powerful reminders of her vibrant spirit and unwavering commitment to her daughter. Local advocacy groups have established Remy's Promise, an initiative aimed at providing support to young single parents facing custody challenges. The program offers legal advice, safety planning, and emergency assistance resources that might have made a difference in Remy's situation. Her story has ignited vital conversations about safeguarding vulnerable parents and children during custody disputes. Remy's mother has become the voice her daughter no longer has, channeling her grief into action while raising her granddaughter. She collaborates with local organizations to enhance protections for young parents navigating custody arrangements, and her efforts have already led to proposed changes in how local courts address custody disputes. The Baldwin Borough community has transformed their shock into meaningful change. Local businesses now display resources for domestic violence support, and the police department has improved their response protocols for custody-related conflicts. Stowe Roos High School has implemented a new curriculum focused on relationship safety and co-parenting challenges. Remy's friends keep her memory alive through an annual scholarship fund for young single parents pursuing education. They share her story not merely as a cautionary tale but as an inspiration for other young mothers to prioritize their safety and well-being. The community's response demonstrates that even in the face of tragedy, positive change is achievable. As we conclude Remy's story, remember that your engagement is crucial in raising awareness about these important issues. Like and share this video to assist other young parents in recognizing potential warning signs in their own circumstances. I want to hear your thoughts. What changes do you believe communities should implement to better protect young parents in custody situations? Share your ideas in the comments below. Your insights could help foster real change. If you haven't already, subscribe to join our community, where we continue to share significant stories like Remy's. Hit the notification bell to stay informed about future cases that require attention. Remember, resources for domestic violence are available 24/7. I've included helpline numbers and resource links in the description below. No one should have to confront these situations alone.